Ciao, ciao, dosto. Good evening, buonasera. Welcome to another live of Calcio Charcha as we are building up to match day 31 in Serie A. Joining me today after a very long time are Param and DJ in the house. What's happening, gentlemen? And in order of seniority, I'm starting with Param first because Param, it's been a while. तू कहाँ है भाई? लोग पूछ रहे वेर इज परम, चैट पे पूछ रहे वेर इज परम, व्हाट्सएप जो हमारा मल्टीवर्स ऑफ मैडनेस है, जो हमारा व्हाट्सएप
Yogesh,
कम्युनिटी है,
yeah,
वहां पे
yeah.
पूछ रहे हैं कि
चैट
वेर इज
चैट
परम.
जीपीटी पे भी पूछ रहे हैं वेस परम।
यस.
नहीं यार
लवकुश,
मतलब
तू है चैट
एक
पे, तू भी पूछ वेर इज परम.
नहीं यार, नाइस टू बी बैक। एक तो बहुत टाइम के बाद, आई थिंक 2-3 हफ्ते तो हो गए। नाइस टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऑब्वियसली सी अजय भाई एंड डीजे, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली बहुत टाइम से सिर्फ बैक एंड से पॉडकास्ट देख रहा था मैं, वाचिंग ऑल द लाइव स्ट्रीम्स, ऑल द वीडियोस। एंड आई नो ऑब्वियसली विद एवरीथिंग दैट हैज हैपेंड, यू नो, मोटा इटालियनो सब देख के तो मजा आ रहा था, बट I was obviously missing being on the podcast. मतलब a lot of traveling due to work, a lot of work. So finally I have some time. I'm not still in the clear, but थोड़ा time तो है बीच में. So glad to be back on the show. That's all I can say. I can clearly see a lot has happened since then, and very excited to discuss all that with both of you all, yeah, and with the chat, of course.
Amazing, amazing. DJ, good evening to you, man. And I will come to the choice of kits that both of you are wearing. But welcome to the stream. Very special weekend, of course, because it's a very
Hmm.
historic rivalry. You know, Roma versus Juve. Lot of run-ins in the 80s where Roma were, I would say, far more um, in contention for Scudetto. Of course, then UA have always been there. Roma have dropped off. Very, very
Hmm.
historic clash, and a
Hmm.
clash that favors UA by a huge margin. What's been happening,
Hmm.
DJ?
AJ, you already know what a turbulent time it has been for most UA fans, and I'm one among them. You know, just to go against the grain, sack our manager in the middle of the season. UA historically, in a time-honored manner, does not like to do that. So,
Yeah.
coming to that point has been very suggestive of what our season has been. It's been such a topsy-turvy season.
Hmm.
Uh, Promising signs, and then everything falling apart for Mota. Very ironically, post our last podcast, there was also like little interviews and snippets are coming out of like how players and agents are
Hmm.
speaking in favor of Mota. You know how
Wow.
how the players were put on a path, and all of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they're also seeming as surprised that Mota is no longer there. So we're all just trying to get to the grips of it. But like we were talking offline, really now this
Hmm.
is coming down to 8 finals. Very
Yeah.
crucial for Juve, I'm sure Roma as well, to be in that top four, because
Hmm.
that is a game changer in terms of what your Mercato is going to look like in the summer, in which direction the project is going to go. Both teams, I think, now are also going to look at managerial changes. With due respect to Trudeau, I think Juve will have another name or two in mind, come
Yeah.
the summer. So I think exciting times, but also very very nervous times. Starting with this weekend.
Hmm. Hmm.
Absolutely. DJ, yours is like we mentioned offline, a training kit, right? A Kappa training
Yeah,
kit of UA. Which year is it?
98-99 Kappa. So the sponsor
98,
at that
99.
point was like this D plus. If you
Oh
guys
yes.
remember, it's a legendary kit. I don't know if you
Hmm.
Yeah.
guys remember. I'm sure you
Of
remember,
course I
guys.
do.
That
I do.
that
I
D
do.
plus in the middle, with the thin
Yeah. Yeah.
kappa stripes and the kappa symbol on the sleeves. Um,
Kappa is my favorite Italian brand, like by far.
by a
Even
country
Roma
man,
kits,
by a country man.
yeah, even
No,
Roma
and
kits are legendary.
both our teams have been sponsored, so those
Yeah,
training kits, those jackets, those body fit jerseys, mind blowing.
माइंड ब्लोइंग बाय. परम तेरा मैं अज्यूम कर 2002 या 3 है बिकॉज़ ये
One
नाइकी
two.
का टेम्पलेट.
2001
1 2
2
हाँ.
with Vieri I have at the back, of
ये
course.
what are you saying? Very 32. What
Yeah,
an
Vieri
amazing
32. मुझे Vieri of course बहुत
Bobo.
पसंद है.
By the
I
way,
love
हाँ,
Bobo. I love Bobo.
yeah.
chat पे I don't know if you guys know or if you are watching this rewind में repeat में, Christian Vieri has got Australian roots. He
Yeah.
wanted to become a cricketer. his idol was Alan Border. So Australian Italian roots. In fact,
Yeah,
his brother played professional football for Australia.
yeah.
Bobo Vieri, very inspired by Alan Border, wanted to become an Australian
Mm,
opener.
mm.
Unfortunately for Australia, he never got that opportunity. But
Okay.
luckily for Italy and a lot of Italian clubs, and he's played for a lot of Italian clubs, he became a lethal striker. And back in the day, probably one of the best in the world. But before we head into the preview of Roma Juve, um,
Mm,
Param, like DJ mentioned, अब ऐसे हम मतलब हालात में है जहां पे रोमा यूए probably are looking at new managers. तो
mm.
you being in the mercato, तेरे को क्या खबर आया starting with Roma first and then Juve, who are the names that have been linked to take over from the from the summer?
Yeah, of course. I mean, मैं इधर tweets भी pull up करूंगा as and when I find them. एक तो obviously जो भी chat में है, I hope people comment and bring their queries
यार
as
कोई
well.
कमेंट ही नहीं कर रहा है यार, आज कोई
Yeah, what
कमेंट
has
नहीं, कोई
happened?
सवाल
As I
नहीं
think
है।
we started too
क्या हो
late,
गया?
I guess maybe that's why.
आज I think
क्या
Maybe.
लेट
everyone
है
is
यार?
watching Mumbai Indians.
Oh, yeah, correct, correct. That's a good point. That's a good point. But I think
That's a
coming
good
back
point.
to the discussion, देखो रोमा से start करें तो of course the main talk of the town जो था initially Gasperini, Ranieri ने उसको dismiss कर दिया. He said Gasperini won't be coaching Roma.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
one conversation that has ended completely. दूसरा देखे तो obviously Allegri is in the running, who is also chased by AC Milan now.
yeah,
Obviously, but ऐसा लग रहा है Roma. It's almost like a 50-50 between the two clubs. I can definitely see Allegri. I don't know why, but I don't know. I have this feeling I can see it happening, and I feel Roma ke liye, as much as I feel Mad Max is not does not have it anymore. I feel I don't know why I feel Roma would be kind of the right environment at this point. I don't think AC Milan is the club he should be going back to right now at this point. I think AC Milan need to look at something different. Sarri, I don't know, सारी I like the coach, but मेरे लिए सारी के demands इतने specific होते हैं. Then again, मैं सोचता हूँ how Roma were managed at the top and everything. Again, you will have that. I think Roma need to avoid that scenario जो हुआ था last summer. And with Sarri with such specific demands, I just don't see the point of taking Maurizio Sarri. I'll be very honest with you. I know he's waiting for a job in the Serie A. उसने openly बोला है. Finally
yeah,
for once, because otherwise उसको अगर आप पूछते हो तो he said मेरे को Premier League जाना है. He always says that. For some reason he loves the Premier League more, but I don't know if Sarri should be the pick for AS Roma. And obviously we have Stefano Pioli links because he's about to mostly be let go by Al Nassr. अगर आप देखोगे news पढ़ोगे तो
yeah,
they're not
yeah,
really happy with Pioli anymore. So Pioli mostly will be. It seems like he'll be losing his job. So Pioli के links. And I think Pioli को मैंने नापोली के लिए recommend किया था before they had hired Conte. And
hmm,
the thing is, मेरे को Pioli इतना personally पसंद नहीं है, but that's for other reasons. But I think he's a decent coach. I think Milan fans used to kind of bash him way more than needed. मतलब उसने at the end of the day Scudetto भी जिताया है यार. Like you can't forget that. He did what the current coaches at AC Milan, obviously not their fault, aren't able to do. So I feel Pioli also wouldn't be really a bad pick. I feel Pioli को एक आता है थोड़ा man management अच्छे से करना, stable करना ship को. At the end of the day, for me, what has to happen, as I've always said, is Ranieri has to make that call unanimously with everyone. रोमा में वही मिसिंग है
yeah,
वो यूनानिमिटी जो लास्ट समर हो नहीं थी ये वो एंड दैट्स व्हाई व्हाट हैपेंड एंड राइट नाउ यू सी यू आर अबाउट लाजियो I mean that is just crazy. I mean where you were 15th in the table and now you're above
hmm,
Lazio, which means it shows कि अगर आप लोग एक level head रखोगे you all can do it. It's just that you all need to
yeah,
be on the same page. And for me, it's as cliche as this sounds. That has to be the key. And Ranieri for me, देखो जो भी बोल रहा है Ranieri को coaching में रखो, I don't think he should continue. He is always
of
good in
course,
a
of course,
situation where the club's back is against the wall and
yeah,
it's a pressure situation and वो आके ठीक करता है. And I'm not saying he's a bad coach. My point is वो retired था उसको लाया ठीक है उसकी legacy खराब करने के लिए कोई chance मत रखो उसको advisor बना रहे हो उधर रखो let him make the decisions with Gisolfi and others. The key is he has now his next step is to make sure the club is run everybody is on the same page. He's done the coaching side of it. So for me if you just
yeah,
simply ask me like I don't know I feel for some reason I feel Allegri will be the right pick. मुझे even though I'm not a fan anymore, I just feel वो एक थोड़ा mentality wise एक edge लाएगा रोमा में, which Roma I feel kind of have been missing to get to that next level. मुझे जस्ट लग रहा है वो रनियरी की जो कंटिन्यूटी है ना वो मेंटेन करेगा बेसिकली. आई डोंट नो
Yeah,
इफ सारी इज द मैन. आई फील Allegri is the way to go personally. So yeah, uh, that's at least my
fair,
opinion. Yeah, I'll
fair
pull.
enough.
Yeah, I'll pull. Yeah, and for UA, if you want me to see, ek to I feel Mota DJY was a bit hard done. I know UA have certain standards and whatnot. I understand. I know he lost the dressing room, um, but I feel थोड़ा उस पे ज़्यादा ही blame आ गया है. मतलब I feel others have a others have to look hard in the mirror, including Juntoli, the players. I mean, आप सबने डीजे भाई ने बोला कि players were so happy to मतलब आप Chiesa was liking all the posts left, right, center. मतलब ठीक
That
है, I
was
know.
insane. Insane. DJ, modern day journalism, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Thiago Motta outpost, and it's liked by all the ex-players who have
yeah,
left
yeah,
UA.
yeah, and
No, but
even
it's so funny and ironic. Today in Tutu Sport, there was an article where Mota wanted Sule to stay, but Sule was sold.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's so
yeah. I read
ironic
that.
yes,
because everyone is blaming basically
yeah,
Mota,
Mota, and
and
that's where I
and
feel
as a
he
result, like no one is seeing really what happened at the back end. He wanted some
exactly.
players, and he wanted to keep some players. You
एग्जैक्टली
know,
सो वही था ना कि डीजे भाई नाउ इज एविडेंट कि ऑब्वियसली क्लब में बहुत लोग सेम पेज पे नहीं थे. इवन एम्बांगुला एंड ऑल वर लाइकिंग पोस्ट्स ऑफ मोटा बीइंग सैक्ड व्हिच मींस ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज़ एम्बांगुला को डेब्यू उसने ही दिया था जय भाई. दैट्स द होल पॉइंट राइट.
Yeah,
एंड
yeah,
दैट
yeah.
गाय वाज लाइकिंग हिज पोस्ट ऑफ बीइंग सैक्ड सो इट मींस
no,
ऑब्वियसly
no, but
समथिंग वेंट
Param,
वेल.
Bangula basically had a full post. He wrote about goodbye and thank you.
I think
So
he's the only one who wrote a goodbye post.
he and I think there was only one other player that actually wrote. Even Coop Miners didn't write. His
या
favorite.
Yeah.
या
You know, so we don't
सो
really know what really
या
happened. I fully agree with you. Okay, Mota has just been, I don't want to say scapegoat
या
because he has a lot of responsibility in this conversation, but
फेयर इनफ.
he hard done by. He can feel hard done by.
या
Uh,
आई फील उसको कुछ ज्यादा ही ब्लेम दे दिया. आई वोंट से स्केपगोट ईदर बिकॉज़ उसकी गलतियां है. बट आई फील मतलब द रियल प्रॉब्लम्स जैसे कॉस्ट्यूम ने ट्वीट किया था, दे लाई एट द बैक एंड, लाइक मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम
Yeah.
दे लाई एट द टॉप. लाइक आई नो डीजे भाई यू लाइक Juntoli a lot, and I objectively speaking I know he's a good director, but I feel he also has some of the blame. The players, like again, like Motta can, like Vlahovic, ठीक है, Vlahovic के इतने जो errors होते हैं, I don't think that should be on Motta. I feel जो उसने वो अटलांटा के अगेंस्ट उसने जो डिजास्टर क्लास डाला, that's, I mean, literally assisting Lookman directly, not even indirectly. So, stuff like that, I don't feel you can blame the coach. And again, there were injuries and everything which you can give him some of a pass, like some sort of a pass. The Bremer's injury, I feel, rocked your season completely. I will always agree with that. I don't think injuries are an excuse, but I personally felt थोड़ा harsh था sagging. Obviously, once you lose the dressing room, you lose the dressing room. You can't do anything. But I just feel, I think, yeah, थोड़ा over हो गया मोटा के साथ, and it is what it is now. I feel Tudor, I have my reservations because I know tactically he's a good coach, and I know he's at a familiar environment. Obviously, there is that
he's
familiarity,
not,
but
Param, he's not, yeah, but he's not going to be that long-term fix. You know,
yeah, I know it's a short
he's
contract.
come in like that injection. You know, that
Yeah,
final spot,
I
being
understand.
steroid shot like
I
that.
understand. I just feel if there was something to be continued here, I उसकी man management है थोड़ी questionable. The first thing he will always do is try to see whom he can get rid of instead of trying to maintain. And this has been a pattern at Marseille, at Lazio. Well, I remember at Lazio, he straight away his first thing was I want to kick out 8 players out of the team. Like, I don't know if that's how you go about it. Guendouzi was obviously one of those players, if anyone remembers. So I know this is a short term fix. I just hope UA have, मतलब as a, as objectively, UA again the same thing. UA have to have a plan here. मतलब आप कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते. Then I don't know. If I was objectively I'm a bit worried where you're headed, because like I really felt this window जो आपने किया, hiring किया, ये वो, everything felt in alignment with the coach you had hired, and now everything feels like भाई वो जो जिसका plan था उसको ही निकाल दिया, and it's like where is Juventus headed? Like same as AC
Yeah.
Milan, you ask these questions. Where are these two clubs headed?
No,
There
very,
has to be,
very good, very good
yeah, like,
points. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm like even as a rival I'm like भाई मतलब इतना solid project तुम लोग ने plan करके रखा था, and every there I remember when the season began, DJ bhai, the optimism and everything, rightfully so, it was a breath of fresh air, there was nothing wrong about it. और अब मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है भाई कि वेयर इज दिस क्लब हेडेड, हु इज आफ्टर, इफ टूडोर डजंट कंटिन्यू, हु इज द नेक्स्ट गाय, लाइक व्हाट इज द प्रोजेक्ट हियर, लाइक ऑल दीज प्लेयर्स ऑल साइन 60 मिलियन जो भी स्पेंड किया, ये तो उस कोच के लिए साइन किया था, नाउ व्हाट्स नेक्स्ट? सो I don't know, yeah. I would be a bit worried from the outside as a purely objectively, obviously, but I hope for your sake, of course, Juventus can find their feet again, because obviously UCL is far from guaranteed even now, and it's a very open race. And if you miss out on UCL, I can only imagine how bad it will be financially. So yeah, but DJ, bhai, go ahead. Yeah, we can have other perspectives. Let me just quickly see who's in the chat. Hamils has also announced his retirement, by the way.
Announced his retirement. Yeah.
Ravi is
By
strolling
the way,
on.
रवि जोशी रियल मैड्रिड तक उन्होंने थ्रैश आर्सेनल, तो भाई तू जी ले, तेरे को तेरी 4 दिन की जिंदगी, क्योंकि रियल मैड्रिड तो भाई तुमको पेलने वाली है.
हाँ.
Just leaving it over here. That's about it.
हाँ. या और डीजे भाई के स्क्रीन पे आईपीएल दिख रहा है मस्त. नाइस टू हैव यू अपर्णा. रियो, नाइस टू हैव यू. नीड टू सी अजय भाई. आप लोग देखो यार, अजय भाई और शिंदत, मैंने उस वीडियो में बहुत एफर्ट डाला है. लव इट द इटालियनो
उसमें
वीडियो.
उसमें सबसे पहले कमेंट आया है, सबसे पहले कमेंट था
या
अंकल शर्मा का, जब उसने बोला कि परम नीड्स टू राइट
या
रिटन अपॉलॉजी टू हिम, एंड आल्सो
या
सम गुड
मतलब
कमेंट्स की.
I mean,
देयर
I
आर
think fair play to DJ Bhai for believing in Italiano so much. Ek to first, I will say that. I also obviously have to apologize to the guy, because he is definitely to an extent proving me wrong. मैं एकदम से नहीं बोलूंगा I'm fully on the apology train, but definitely largely I have been proven wrong. मतलब yes, they shat the bed in the Champions League, but you have to understand that the circumstances were tough. मतलब players गए,
हाँ.
yet to rebuild tactically the whole team, and what he's done is just phenomenal. मतलब भाई मैं वही बोल रहा था, लाइक डीजे भाई, टाइटल रेस के हिसाब से पीपल आर लुकिंग एट इट लाइक दिस. इंटर हैव अ टफ रन, नापोली हैव अ टफ रन, दिस सो एंड सो. Just go through Bologna's fixture list. They played Empoli, they play Napoli, I think, then they play Inter, then they play Empoli again. And those two Empoli games are the Coppa Italia ones, which obviously one of them they've seen. So they're making history. They're already in the top four. They can
Then
solidify themselves.
they are in the Copa Italia final also. 3-0
They're in the
first
final,
leg
and they
win.
can
वो तो
look.
भाई
They can beat either of the teams. Like I feel, even if Milan or Inter go through, Bologna can beat either of these teams.
Which
मतलब वो लोग
really,
में
which
है वो quality.
really, it really
हाँ.
makes you wonder, right? Was Bologna the wonder team, or was Motta the wonder coach? You know, it just
Yeah.
it
I think
really like,
I think Sartori was the Wonder Sporting director.
absolutely,
let's
yeah,
give
yeah, no doubt.
let's
Yeah.
give credit where it's
He
due.
exactly, and I was critical of Sartori because he got a few things wrong in the summer. But the thing is, you have to. I think we also have to remember that a club is trying to find a direction, just like Atalanta did all these years. It's almost like that they have a plan, they need to do something, and I really hope for their sake, nobody leaves them, because they've already
तो
suffered it with Mota.
ये ये जो पॉइंट है अभिजय का, उस ये पॉइंट को हमने वही वी एक्चुअली मेंशन्ड इन द वीडियो दैट द वे दैट अटलांटा आर इन फ्री फॉल, बोलोनिया सोच सकती है कि भाई मतलब अगर कुछ
Third, yeah,
रिजल्ट्स उनके फेवर में जाए, अटलांटा थोड़ा
yeah,
पॉइंट्स ड्रॉप करे, तो उन लोग
yeah.
थर्ड भी फिनिश कर सकते हैं यार. फोर्थ छोड़ो.
I, I look as a
It's very
neutral.
tight, guys. It's
It's
very
tight,
hard to
yeah,
say because see, Atlanta Juve is 3 points, Bologna
yeah,
Atlanta is 2 points,
yeah,
and I think if we are actually to see the run in, Atlanta have a very tough run in, followed by Bologna.
yeah.
I think
I,
Juve actually have the easier fixtures from those three.
yeah.
You know,
No, but
so
you have to DJ by give like these guys full credit. यार मतलब Orsolini is revived, Santiago Castro, ex Inter academy player Odegaard, ये सब players को जो Italiano कर रहे थे, like it also tells you how his time at Fiorentina was. That it tells you Fiorentina was more of a mess than Italiano. Despite that, he got these guys to 3 finals overall.
imagine, guys, this is
Yeah,
after
Yeah,
losing Calafiori. This is after
yeah,
losing what's our
Xerxes.
Zirkzee,
what's our
yeah,
striker?
Zirkzee,
Striker. Huh. It's crazy, like
yeah,
to come back and be even more compact than the year with Mota. It's
yeah,
phenomenal job. But
full,
Bharat, just coming
uh,
back to your perspective on what you were saying about Juve, right?
yeah,
Like to me, I feel you're absolutely right about the fact that Giuntoli has, a certain amount of responsibility in that conversation. The players, okay, you
yeah,
know that I'm a Fagioli fan, right?
yeah,
He goes to Fiorentina. He gives a full interview about
yeah,
how at Juve it's important to win, and if you don't perform, you're out.
exactly,
But,
yeah,
but it's also a misread because all he said was, I got very few minutes to prove myself. But that's not true. He was given time by Mota
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
and
That's
he
true.
didn't deliver. So where's the
Yeah,
ownership and leadership from players like
exactly.
Fakir, who is actually a Juve product? So, if that's the state of the mental fragile state of the
Yeah,
players that are coming through the system, then not Mota, any coach is not safe.
yeah, yeah.
You understand? So, like, I feel like that's the level of responsibility that, like, so many players that really need to stand up and be counted are not doing that.
I agree.
You know,
I fully agree with you because मैं वही देख रहा हूँ ना the ease with which how these players have celebrated the Mota sacking, it tells me there is something like wrong. Like it, and this is not what you associate Juventus with ideally. Like even as a
no,
rival, I'll expect.
exactly. But I feel like that mental state really now remains to be seen because now Mota's
Yeah,
gone. Now there's nowhere for these players to hide,
mm,
right? Now you'll truly know what the problem is.
yeah, yeah,
My point is like Elkan, you're the owner of the club. You've gone
yeah,
missing. Your entire focus is on Ferrari. Now, obviously, I don't know if you guys know, there's been talk of this one of these they've got 8% stake in Juve. It's a company called Tether. He's a Juve fan. He's
yeah,
making a slight pitch in the news about like wanting to come in,
yeah, yeah. I saw
as an
that.
owner. There's talk of Agnelli coming back with the PIF fund. And that's when Elkan decides to step in and said, yeah, we'll cover the 15 million to ensure Mota sacking and balance the books and make sure a player like Yildiz is not sacrificed. But see, Param, for me, the read is that Mota, for all
Uh,
his way forward, also was not able to manage the dressing room. So the players
yeah,
are at
yeah.
fault. It's a given. But small things were happening where you start with
Fair enough.
Gatti as captain, and then you've had 8 captains in eight
Yeah, you
months.
can't be
You know,
having that.
then you've got 35 lineups in 8 months. It shows that you're not clear about your ideas. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
fair enough.
and we discussed this on the group as well. The reason when Mota was sacked, they were not meeting to sack him. When Giuntoli and Scanovino met him for lunch, the idea was
Mm,
not to sack him. The idea was, how do we take this forward? Where
yeah.
are you going wrong? The problem is he was defiant. And he said, I'm not going wrong anywhere. That's when you have a problem.
What
You know,
adamant, yeah,
you can't,
exactly.
you are wrong. If you're not playing Thuram and Yildiz on the biggest Champions League night, you are wrong.
Fair enough, fair
If you
enough.
have
Yeah,
38 lineups, you are wrong. You have to admit that. So the
yeah,
meeting was actually to Giuntoli and Scanovino came from a place of making sure that Yildiz and Thuram play, which is a very fair assessment,
yeah.
to getting a fixed lineup. And he did not agree on both counts, and those are very
Mm,
basic things. So I think that on that level I feel like Mota, it's almost like he shot himself in the foot and had it coming. The second thing
mm,
is that the way his management of the players was, you know apart from the fact that we'll come to the players, but the fact is you can't fall out with players on small things. If a player is
fair
late for
enough.
training, 5 minutes late, you take him aside and don't make a spectacle of him. Don't make him
Yeah,
lose the
true,
answer,
true,
and
true.
don't you can't shut him out immediately.
That's
These
a
are
fair
young
point.
guys. This is the second youngest or youngest team in the league. So you have to be a bit of a mentor, rather than
Yeah, yeah,
act like you're a fellow player and suddenly I'm
yeah.
not talking to you, I'm cutty with you.
That
It doesn't work
that's
like that.
exactly, and
You know?
you're right about this because Ajay bhai, what DJ bhai said, this is exactly. Again, I don't mean to compare directly, but Simone Inzaghi gets these details right whenever I read any sort of news. How he treats them, like as DJ bhai said, almost he maintains that level, but as a mentor, as like a father figure, almost like that, and that's where he gets the man
That
management side of things right.
ये
It's
एक
so
बहुत ही old school Italian way है of managing players.
it's
It's
so
very
important,
Italian.
guys, to galvanize the squad so you play for each other, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That is so lacking. I feel like Mota, at the start of the season, I saw good ideas, but I
yeah,
think just the way he managed the players, the ideas just disseminated because nobody knew what their role is. McKennie's playing left back one day, then he's playing the number 10 in the slot. I mean, how is he going to interpret an idea, right? Like, how is he going
Yeah,
to
exactly.
yeah.
interpret positions and patterns?
Agreed.
That lies with Mota. Then the players' lack of leadership. Param, for me, Giuntoli, yes, you're right. He spent a lot of money. He was great
Yeah,
at the sales. But the problem is he supported Mota. So
yeah.
he got in a coach and he supported him, got him the players he wants, which is why I feel like I don't want to put this all on Giuntoli. I feel like somewhere
No, no,
there
no.
is onus. That is my assessment. I
No,
just feel
not
like
everything. I don't think any one person can be blamed fully. I feel there is, it's in bits and pieces. Obviously, then whatever percentage you want to attribute, that's fine. मेरे लिए एक ही था कि थोड़ा obviously मोटा पे थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया था, but then there is criticism that is more than fair. You said all the points yourself, like the lack of identity tactically, the leadership was missing, so many captains, which I didn't understand, like how can you do that. But I think let's get back to the game. अजय भाई, आप लोग दोनों का obviously mega clash है इधर, and the thing is यार अजय भाई, आपकी क्लब तो मतलब you guys have turned it around big time. Like it's unbelievable how you guys have overtaken Lazio, जिसके बारे में हम लोग टॉप 4 की बात कर रहे थे, ये वो, and we are at a point where Lazio में they're internally considering getting rid of Baroni possibly as well, which is I don't agree with, but obviously that's Lotito for you. But Ajay, क्या बोलते हो? Because I'll pull up the lineups. What's the feeling going into this game from the Roma community before I get to DJ from the US side?
Like the feeling is that there is a lot of optimism क्योंकि the run जो Ranieri and the boys ने जो एक क्या बोलते हैं एक रन पे गए ना, इट्स बीन
Uh,
अनबिलीवेबल. एंड मैं बहुत ही बड़ा फैन हूँ 1-0 विंस. मेरे को मैं तुम्हें बार बार बोलता हूँ कि मेरे को तुम 48 1-0 विक्ट्रीज दे दो, मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. आई डोंट माइंड as long as we get those 3 points. And I keep on saying this. I mean, I know Abhijay is there in the chat, but champagne football तुम कितना भी खेलो, तुमको एंड ऑफ द डे ट्रॉफीज ही चाहिए. दैट्स व्हाट डिफाइंस अ फुटबॉल क्लब. एंड आई डू नॉट एग्री विथ अ लॉट ऑफ रोमा फैंस का मेंटालिटी. मैं बहुत झगड़ता हूँ उनके साथ में. मैं उनको वही बोलता हूँ कि यार तुम योर बेंचमार्क शुड नॉट बी लात्सियो. योर बेंचमार्क शुड बी the northern clubs, the Milan teams and Juve, because they have carved out the legacies, they have won the trophies. That is what you should aim at, and not, with all due respect, competing with Lazio. हाँ, डार्बी जीत गया तो बहुत खुश हो गए, और कुछ अचीव नहीं करना है सीजन में. I don't buy onto that philosophy. I think and a lot of Roma coaches and ex-Roma players don't. Like, I know for a fact that Daniele De Rossi never liked this mentality as a player, and whatever few months he spent as a coach. So coming back to your question, Param, I think Ranieri has really एक उसने एक benchmark रखा है, and hopefully the next manager who comes in can carry that momentum. The likes of Adobic, Sule, Baldanzi,
Hmm.
Manu Kone, Ivan Endika, Miles Villar have been excellent for Roma this year, and their ceiling is still very high. So the next manager should ensure that they reach their full potential and hopefully qualify for consecutive Champions Leagues. 3-4 साल regularly Roma should try to come back to the
Hmm.
Champions League, because that's honestly that's the stage where a club like Roma belong. So Ranieri has set that benchmark. I know कि बहुत difficult fixtures है, because we face Juve, we face y'all in Param, Inter away,
Hmm.
Milan है, Atalanta है, Lazio है, Fiorentina है, बहुत सारे डायरेक्ट हेड टू हेड क्लैशेस है. तो पता नहीं एंड ऑफ द सीजन हम लोग कहाँ पहुंचेंगे. बट
Hmm.
यहां तक भी हम लोग पहुंचे, लाइक यू मेंशनड, व्हेन Ranieri took over, Roma were 15th. One more loss and we would have been in the relegation battle. And
Hmm.
from there till here, it's
Hmm.
been very, very satisfying. Unfortunately, we got Athletic Club Bilbao, who I feel are
Hmm.
the best club in the Europa League at this point of time.
Yeah.
We unfortunately we that Max Hummels wala red card, things could have
Hmm.
gone in a different way. And what I
Hmm.
liked even in that defeat is that the Roma players fought right till
Hmm.
the very end. And I think
Hmm.
those are the positive signs that a club are headed in the right direction. And I hope the Friedkins and Ranieri can get the appointment spot on,
Yeah.
because we don't want another regressive step along the way. तो बस मेरा वही है.
Hmm.
And 8 फाइनल है. अब देखते क्या होता है यार. आई मीन पहला यूए है, उसके बाद डार्बी है. तो देखते हैं.
Hmm.
विल टेक इट वन गेम एट अ टाइम एंड विल सी वेयर वी आर एट द एंड ऑफ द सीजन.
Fair enough. और प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में भी देख सकते हो, Ranieri pretty much said he needs like 11 players to fight on every ball, as you have been demanding, obviously. And वही है
या
कि obviously रोमा में mentality shift दिखता है. I mean, even the narrow wins, which I don't think any like a Roma which was not doing well would have probably lost that game to Lecce and all that. So
pretty
definitely,
much,
जैसे
pretty
आपने,
much.
yeah,
Even
I mean,
even Venezia, even lot of games where maybe an older version of Roma would have conceded a late goal,
yeah, yeah,
turned that
exactly.
win into a draw, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll come to DJ by for you. Way just briefly take a few comments. slowly becoming a regular at Calcio Churcha. Nice to see Harkonnen. I'll come to that Gasparini UA question just at the end before DJ Bhai leaves in a bit. Second, wow, that's a bold shot. I mean, pehle, let them have a stable project. Bologna are finishing third this season. Berta does not clear Sartori points. Berta is very controversial. Make a video on Sartori. People need to know. I think ये
Yeah.
definitely करना पड़ेगा. Italiano पे जो बना है definitely Sartori पे एक proper करना पड़ेगा.
I
Again,
think,
two
guys, we
good.
should make one on across like the 3 or 4, smart minds in the league.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
Lot
very
of
good
lot
idea.
of us always see the
Do it.
guys in front,
Yeah,
Carnival,
yeah,
Sartori,
yeah.
Giuntoli, Marotta.
Sabatini. I
They've
really
also
want to.
got some amazing scouts, you know.
Scouts, we have to do that. That's a
And
very
we
good
should
shout, actually, DJ. Let's do this. Actually, I feel we can do
You
this.
know,
It's a very good idea.
I don't know if you guys know. Probably Param, you would know. And chat me, I would want to know. Walter Sabatini signed Stephen Lichtsteiner and Alexander Kolarov for
Yeah,
800K, both of them
yeah,
for
yeah,
800K for at Lazio. Can you
yeah.
imagine?
सावाटिनी जब प्राइम में था मस्त था उसके बाद
Must
इवेंचुअली
have.
काइंड ऑफ फेल
he
ऑफ
lost his way. Lost his
yeah he
way.
lost his way because he I remember
That
him saying
Palermo team, man,
oh my god
what a
yeah
team, boss.
yeah
What
yeah
a team.
yeah exactly and Benjamin Dominguez बहुत अच्छा talent है Fabian I still feel has a lot to prove Rio but again there is potential there wow interesting harsh I know he's a bit injury prone but ये वापस ले लो रोमा में और ही कुछ आर्सेनल फैंस अप्रिशिएट नहीं करने वाले
नहीं नहीं
uh,
नहीं परब उसमें
हाँ,
आएगा प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ आवर कैलिफियर अरे भाई वो रोमन है वो हमारा
yeah.
बच्चा है वो आएगा तो घर ही आएगा ना वापिस
Yeah. And that's the modern day problem that I'll fix it irrespective of the players and manager. Fair enough. How much has been? Yeah, definitely. मतलब बहुत key aspect था ना. He was their best defender. He is one of the best defenders in the league. इतना solid player था वो. Definitely impacts. Yeah, there is definitely. There is no news here, Ravi. It's too soon. I don't think he'll be in a job for a while. I don't.
Param, maybe Atlanta, yeah. Maybe
Maybe, maybe, maybe.
it's a good fit.
Interesting way. Interesting. Actually, yeah, you never know. Actually, a good way to look at it. Finishing mid-table
और
12-14.
or maybe a return to Bologna if Italiano decides to go to Milan.
अरे वो I feel Bologna needs stability right now. I just hope they have that. फिर से मोटा फिर से वो जरूरत नहीं है इनको. 1-0 victory tough for Hart after 80 minutes.
That's
I
true.
remember making a prediction of Lazio. Yeah, I mean मेरा prediction ये था कि either they'll be like doing very well or like 9th 10th, but I think बीच में ही finish होंगे फिर से. Can Roma, if they appoint the correct manager, be a potential title winner in 5 years?
Only if they appoint Allegri because Allegri has got what it takes. But then there are a lot of ifs and buts. ऐसा नहीं है कि
Yeah,
Allegri
yeah,
को
I
उसने
feel
appoint किया
5 years is a long time. I think it can be even sooner, but it's a combination of things, right? It
Yeah, a
exactly.
lot
comes
of
down
things.
to
Lot of
if Juve go deeper into where they are, or if Juve is able to rejuvenate, then yes, Roma may need a little longer because
And exactly,
one more
there's still
contender, right, between Juve, Inter, and then
Nick,
resuscitate in Milan.
Rio Asu, like with all due respect, I think Inter are like one step above all other 19 Serie A clubs. उसके बाद में हम लोग सारे हैं at this point of time. So it's very difficult.
नापोली को भी आप रूल आउट नहीं कर सकते. If Conte stays, then it's like yeah, and they could still win the league, right? So
It's not looking good, Param. There, he's already not like
yeah,
committing his future.
yeah,
There's already
he's
a
not.
call from Juve to bring Tognozzi, who is Mana and
Yeah,
Tognozzi are
yeah,
Juve guys,
yeah.
So
Him. The
him
thing is,
leaving,
right?
I think Napoli will be unstable again. I feel.
Interesting way. Like especially if they don't win the title. If they win the title, then you still obviously look. It's Conte. He will leave even if he wins the Scudetto. We know that.
Yeah.
No worries, Adresh. आप chat में रहो. That's enough. Bring your brother here. Bring your brother, the Milanista. नहीं Lichtsteiner, but when in his prime was very good यार Ravi. मतलब मस्त था यार वो. Like even as a rival.
Scam. I mean,
Yeah, scam भाई
he's
मतलब
had
in his
such a
prime.
fantastic career.
Yeah. Exactly. Even as a rival.
स्कैम तो यूए फैंस बोलना चाहिए कि ऑनरी ने किया यार. ऑनरी
Yeah.
कितना बड़ा स्कैम था यूए में. आर्सेनल में तो चमक गया.
रोमा ने कुछ नहीं किया भाई. अगर आप उसकी फिजिकल कंडीशन ही देखो लास्ट सीजन से ही वाज डिक्लाइनिंग फिजिकली. इट्स जस्ट दैट नाउ पीपल आर सीइंग इट.
I think age also, guys.
Yeah,
It's age. It's a progression. I mean, he was done at the end of his career even before he signed. So really, this is a
Yeah.
very logical end to things.
Yeah, this is not guaranteed by the way. Farioli to Roma is not done by any means. He is linked obviously. Yeah, देख 5 years
But
ऐसे तो
again,
बाहर
again,
का.
ये फारियोली का मुझे hype समझ में नहीं आता है. 1.5 season like amazing, and then everyone is like Man United wants to sign him, Juve wants to sign him, Roma
Yeah,
wants.
people need to be
Let the
patient.
guy,
People,
let the guy just
yeah,
be there for
exactly,
like 2 seasons,
exactly. I
Earn
agree
his
with you.
stripes.
No, I agree
It's
with you. It's not even his fault. It's the media that's
it's not
going
his
crazy
fault.
because
It's the
because
problem is now even the press has changed, right? Now it's Instagram. Earlier it
yeah,
was tabloids. Now
yeah.
Instagram is hyping it up. You
Also,
know,
also, I'll tell you what's happening now, DJ, because he's, to be fair to him, he's managing to guide this Ajax team to the top. And Ajax as a club, which is an institution that is a mess, which still is, and उसको वो top पे रख रहा है. You know, this club was close to the relegation zone 2 seasons ago, 1.5 seasons ago. They could have even actually gotten relegated. So what he's doing is kind of extraordinary because the Eredivisie is not like the 80s and 90s when it used to be competitive, obviously. Still,
Yeah.
in a mess of a club, he's doing a job. But I agree with you, Ki, bhai, like relax. Like he has a long way to go. Let him coach Ajax properly first, I feel. उसको उधर कुछ build करने तो बाद में देख सकते हैं. Like we Roma, and obviously I'm not saying X club is bigger, Y club is bigger. Let him stay where he is first. And I say the same for Italiano. This is what I mean. Like Italiano, let him stay where he is. These coaches need to be where they are first, build something there, and then eventually they can think of the next step. But let's move on, DJ. Let's talk about the US side of things. Let's move on from Mota. Let's look at the game. कैसा फीलिंग है, क्या लग रहा है आपको? बिकॉज रोमा एज अजय भाई, मतलब यू कैन सी इट ऑन अजय भाई फेस, द मूड इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. मतलब अगर आप सिर्फ सेकंड हाफ का
More,
टेबल पकड़ रहे हो तो रोमा आई थिंक इज इन द
more,
टॉप.
more
हाँ.
Pariniti reels are coming.
But yeah, DJ, what do you make of the mood
I
of?
think guys, Roma has been the team to beat in 2025. Obviously, the stats also show that. Um,
Yeah.
I think what is going to be different though about this Juve is it's a good time for this clash to come. I think for both teams, one is to
Mm.
consolidate Roma in terms of their chops for the top four, where they'll truly start believing like do they have it in them. And I think for Juve, really, it's a test for Tudor because I think the key difference between Tudor and Mota, I beg your pardon, is the fact that Tudor is a more direct coach. He plays more vertical football, so the team is more compact. And I think that works in favor of the players that he has at his disposal. Um, I personally, for me, I like the 3-4-2-1 and the 3-4-1-2 as a formation. Personally, I think it suits the players that we have. The only guys it probably affects is Conceição and Mbangula. Uh, Obviously, you're losing a little bit of width, but bringing Yildiz back into his natural position, playing a potential trident of Kolo Muani, Vlaho, and Yildiz, I think is looks good to me. In terms of an attacking stretch, and I think also very perfect for counter-attacking football. Um, Tudor also, I like the fact that he doesn't focus as much on possession as Mota did, because Mota's possession was so sterile that it's just sideways and backwards, very little lateral vertical movement. So with Tudor, you see more of the players running into those positions, taking on their man and trying to beat them. I like that. That to me is the kind of play also that will work against Roma. And I think it's a very, very even clash. But I like the fact that now Juve's key players are going to be in their natural positions, which to me I think is going to work against Roma. And I think Roma might struggle to kind of deal with that. Also, somewhere I feel like Ranieri, he can sleep through this league because he has so much experience. He knows every team in the league inside out. He'll prepare really well for this game. But I just think that this change of coach really for Juve is more about getting over that line, that, and always that change of coach brings that renewed
New
enthusiasm.
manager, new
It,
manager bounce.
it really is that, and I feel like that new manager bounce coupled with game changers like Yildiz playing in their natural position is going to be something that will see a better version of this Juve, and also I think somewhere consolidate the vision that these players actually are a team that you can build around.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, and I think as you said, he obviously थोड़ा एक जैसे अजय भाई ने भी बोला, sort of that new energy, new, because even
Yeah.
Marquisio and other people from the outside have been talking about it. Players want to prove themselves under the new coach. because like obviously सबके लिए नया chance आ जाता है, even for someone like a Vlahovic who has not probably justified his stay at Juventus anymore, but even then, so definitely I feel like even in the
By the way,
even in हाँ बोलो
by the
ना.
way, Parav Vlahovic loves to score against Roma, and I won't be surprised if he gets a goal. And honestly, like DJ mentioned, I would have preferred Yildiz to be on the bench. Had it been Mota, he would have been on the bench for sure. But with
Yeah.
Theodore coming in, I'm pretty sure he's
Also,
going to start.
also, guys, I don't know if you'll know this. Coop Miners is Tudor has taken Coop Miners aside and he's planning to put him away for 2 to 3 weeks to work on his fitness. Given that he
Wow.
didn't get a preseason with Juve,
Yeah.
so
Wow.
I'm loving that from a perspective of A, trying to recoup a player, and
Yeah.
two, in his absence, it's going to basically mean Yildiz and Kolo behind Vlaho. I think that's also going to work for Vlahovic. You know,
Mm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
you guys know, right? Tudor, by Tudor's assessment, not that I personally agree, but he believes Vlahovic is the best striker in the Serie A. When they asked him if Osimhen is, he said no, the best striker is Vlahovic. So I think that continuity to Vlahovic might also bring back a little bit of belief. And even in this state, Vlaho tends to score against the teams he's good at scoring with historically. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, definitely, I feel what Tudor का comment is more of a confidence building move. I feel
नहीं
because
नहीं ये तो 2 साल पहले बोला है अभी ये
yeah, I know,
वापस आके
yeah, fair enough. I mean, 2 years ago, also kind of he was a bit better, I would say. Abhi to he does not seem like that kind of a player. To be fair, he obviously he's low on confidence and whatnot. And
he's
but
low
again,
yeah,
as a
and also he knows now it's over with Juve
yeah,
100%
it
that
is.
like there's no talk of a renewal. They want to sell him.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so I think
obviously,
somewhere that has gone, but I think Kolomuani's presence has given him that little competition. That
yeah, yeah.
I want to still prove that I have the chops, which is why I think that suits the Juve front line.
Fair enough. Even Pjanic was having his say. बोल रहा था, obviously it was necessary to change coaches as the results were not up to par. Speaking of the UADNA, and obviously again what we discussed कि उसको भी पता है Tudor still knows the club inside out. So kind of there is a scope कि वो dynamics at least until season end तो better manage करेगा. Then we see where he goes from there. But let's Ajay bhai talk about the predicted lineups for both teams. मतलब इस game पे आते हैं. Why is this? This is loading now. So obviously, I hope this is visible. मैं comments पे आऊँगा guys. Again, like, share and subscribe. If you haven't, again, we are very close to 1.5k तो पहुंचा दो. Before that, Ajay bhai, let's start with the home team Roma. आपकी predicted lineup as per Gazeta, obviously not always reliable. Swilar, Endika, Mancini, Celik as the right centre back, El Sharawi, Angelino, Paredes, Kone, Pellegrini, Sule and Dovbik. क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई? कुछ अलग इसमें आप बोलते हो करोगे कि क्या लगता है आपको अवेलेबिलिटी
I,
के
I
हिसाब
I
से?
think I think Baldanzi could come in instead of Pellegrini. I think
हाँ,
back three because Shelik is back from injury. So I think
या
वही रहेगा. Kone Paredes ideally remains for me the best pivot option. Right back में issues है because there are injury concerns for Salamakers is suspended. Saud is still injured. Rench is still injured. So El Sharawi might come in and uh, play that role of a right wing back. Angelino तो set है. Aage Dobbik has Sule has taken the Dybala spot. In a way, quite happy for that. And only 50-50 is maybe Baldanzi might come in for Pellegrini. But otherwise, I think this is the best lineup that Ranieri can put against Juve.
And you agree with it, obviously. I mean, I think there was obviously जो हमने पहले article देखा उसमें I think Rensch is, what did he say, Ranieri? Is he recovering or is he out still?
He
If I'm
is
not
he is recovered, but then he's
yeah.
he's still not match
Yeah,
fit.
he's not 100%, of course.
Yeah,
Obviously, bench पे Golini, Hummels, Demarzi, Nelson, no, Victor Nelson, Salahuddin, Baldanzi जैसे आपको लग रहा है start करेगा. Lord Cristante, Pesili is there as well. Shomurodov, Sangare, and Gurnado. Not a bad bench, of course. Of course, I think right now you have some doubts. Obviously, Saud Abdul Hamid and Rench and Dybala are obviously Dybala is a big blow. मतलब आपका पूरा season
yeah, of
गया
course, of course, of
unfortunately
course.
उधर affect हो जाता है. Salemakers also is sorry. Salemakers is available or is he one game away from suspension? My
He's
bad.
he no he's suspended.
Yeah, he's suspended. Correct. Yeah. So I think Roma का obviously एक तो डिबाला की वजह से एक बहुत बड़ा बाइट तो डेफिनेटली चला जाता है. On the flip side, डीजे भाई क्या बोलते हो? Obviously, this is as per Gazeta. This is the predicted 11. You have Di Gregorio in goal, Lloyd Kelly, Vega, Kalulu, Locatelli, Kefren, Nico Gonzalez, McKennie. Gildes, Conceição, and Vlahovic. Would you do anything differently here? How do you see UA line up with Tudor against Roma in such a big clash?
Guys, I think, also from a Roma perspective, I do believe that Pellegrini will play. I think Dobvik is actually the perfect foil. I know there's going to be a miss with Dybala, but he's the perfect foil because running at Vega and Kelly will be quite easy for him in my read. From a perspective of Juve, I think Tudor's already kind of shown a lot of astuteness by moving Nico Gonzalez a little further away from goal, because what is given him is the freedom to cut in and run towards the opposing defense. And I think that space is really serving him very well, because he's got that vision of the field in front of him to create space for others with his through pass. So I'm
Mm.
really liking that move. I think Loka and Thuram is pretty much a lock in the middle. I don't want to see Douglas Luiz now till the end of the season, and hopefully then we use him as a make weight for Tonali or someone of that level and caliber. McKennie back to actually playing wide out. I think that's where he really did well, even under Mota. I like the fact that he's there rather than playing him further up. Yildiz will be there. I'm a little suspect about Conceição. I feel like Vlaho will be the 9.
Mm.
I think it'll be Kolomoani to start ahead of Conceição. Also, like
Wow.
you said, Gazetta ka lineup from a
Yeah,
Juve
it's a
perspective,
mess.
we'll wait for Giovanni Albanese's lineup and
Yeah, it's a mess. Obviously, I'll actually pull up Sky ka because Gazeta always never usually give accurate. I mainly use it for visual representation more than anything. This is okay. Again, this is per Gazeta. There is one per Sky. Just give me a second. I'll just pull that up. But yeah, you can give your views until then. नीचे में बोलो.
yeah. So I feel like what I like about what I saw, and it was very early, in terms of Tudor's thinking. Like I said, the move of Nico, moving him outright wide, is served the player very well. Mentally, it's refreshing you, right? That you're not being
Mm.
booed off the pitch. You're bringing a little bit of game and construct to your players. The Sky team is also reporting Conceição, but I still have a feeling last minute it'll be Colo. Let's see. The balance of the composition of this team actually looks fairly well balanced.
Mm.
I the only thing, the weak spot for me is Kelly, but I think he does better in a 3-man mid than he does in a 4-man mid. So
Mm.
I'm hoping it's the 3-man defense Kelly that shows up. And the midfield is very compact. I like the defensive work rate that both Loka, Thuram put in the middle. McKennie will bomb that flank very well. Yildiz playing closer to goal, nothing like it. On the whole, I feel like this is a very well composed, balanced unit to take on the present Roma in the present form.
Mm-hmm. No, no, I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, guys, I think we should. एक तो comments में आप लोग बताओ आपको क्या लग रहा है ये बैटल किधर जीती जाएगी, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली यूवेंटस का भी टैक्टिकल ट्वीक है, रोमा का भी थोड़ा, मतलब रोमा यूजुअली स्टिल आर फॉलोइंग द सेम पैटर्न बट देन विदाउट डिबाला नाउ दे हैव टू पुल समथिंग अप. I want to know in
Yeah.
the comment from people, where do you think this battle is won and lost? Ajay, but I'll start with you. Uh, what do you think this game, like, where do you think this game is won and lost, and what's your prediction?
यार अदरिश ने मेरा मतलब पूरा जस्ट छीन लिया. आई फील इट्स गोना बी अ वेरी क्लासिक इटालियन गेम. बहुत वो चेस चेस वाला जो गेम होता है ना, कि
Hmm.
where both teams don't want to lose, they wait for the other team to make a mistake. I
Hmm.
feel that's what it's going to be. I personally enjoy those games. It's not a treat if you're a neutral fan expecting goals and counter-attacking football and every move से you're expecting something. ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है मेरे हिसाब से. I think it's going to be a cagey affair. I do not see a winner in this game. Could be a nil-nil, could be a 1-1. 1-1 होगा तो I feel Vlahovic will score for UA, and hopefully for Roma, Dobic continue scoring. But yeah, I don't see this game won or lost in a very particular fashion. I think both teams will not want to lose.
Uh,
The midfield is going to be very congested because you have Thuram, Locatelli, you have Kone, Paredes, all those guys in the middle of the park. बहुत ही केजी गेम होने वाला है, and I don't mind. Like you asked me today, a draw with UA, we'll take it and run.
wow. What would you say, DJ? Where do you think this game is won and lost, and what's your
Yeah,
prediction?
Panam, I feel like obviously the midfield is very heavily loaded, big names, big players, big game players. I do feel if Juve are able to just stay consistent within the lines, I feel like they're a little bit more powerful in the middle. If they're able to hold their lines, and I also think that the work rate of McKennie and Nico can affect Roma. Yildiz again playing closer to goal is a guy to watch out for. To me again, like, when I look at it, I feel like Roma are due, a little bit of a stall. They've had such a fabulous run. Ranieri is just like an old hand at this, and he knows this inside out. He sleeps through games like this. I mean, he's dealt with the biggest teams in the world. He's played across Europe. He's very well set for this game. I think Tudor's really charged up. Juve is going
Mm,
through double training sessions, heavy intense workouts. Also player bonding sessions. There's just a renewed energy, in them, which I think will show on the pitch against Roma.
mm,
I feel I agree with AJ in the sense that this will start as a very cagey affair, but I don't think it'll end as a cagey affair. I think it'll end as a very open game in the last 30 or so minutes. That's my read, and I have a feeling that if it's a draw, it'll be a high scoring one. It'll be a 2-2 sort of game. But if I was to pick a winner, I feel like um, um, against the odds, I think you weigh 2-1.
wow. A bold prediction as well. Let me see what people are saying in the comments. Then we can take this forward. Motato Atalanta, Ivajan Sack gets an upgrade. Yeah, I mean, I hope one day we get to have the whole panel at once as well. Again, um, I do personally don't know how to feel this element of sacrifice on Conceição in UA. क्या बोलना चाह रहे हो? Maybe do you mean like them potentially not signing him that we can discuss some other day? Rahul says
Yeah, the
Rahul likes to have
potential not signing him is linked directly to the Champions League. Yeah, I mean, it's a
yeah
very
yeah
different conversation if they qualify.
exactly
30
yeah
million, so
yeah. Hate possession football, just my personal preference. Can't see my team playing it. Fair enough, but that's your preference. I think are UA buying Colomoni in the summer remains to be seen. I mean, obviously, initially there was positive talk, but abhi tak it's too soon. Matlab, in
we
even
don't
in
know,
our
guys. We don't know. We don't know who the
yeah,
coach is. We don't know where
yeah,
Champions League
exactly,
is. You can't
exactly.
discuss this right now. Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली इवन इन द इंटर कम्युनिटी यार बहुत बात चल रही है कि ज़लेव्स्की को शायद साइन कर लेंगे आई सॉ द रिपोर्ट्स बट देन टियर 1 सोर्सेज सेड इट्स नॉट नोबडी डिसाइड सो अर्ली माय पॉइंट इवन
Yeah.
ज़लेव्स्की पे भी हमने डिसीजन नहीं किया है हाउ मच डज टूडोस यूवेंटिनो बैकग्राउंड हेल्प हिम एंड आल्सो हिज बाल्कन बैकग्राउंड इन रिगार्ड्स टू व्लाहोविच एंड एटसिच मतलब एकदम बाल्कन वाल्कन आई डोंट नो स्पेसिफिक बट डेफिनेटली यार टूडोर हैज he's very familiar with the club. Matlab
Yeah, of
as you
course.
can see, DJ Bhai said you can see the difference right now. You can see the sense of calm. The players excited. I think there was that team dinner as well, right? And players were very excited about
Yeah,
it
yeah,
when
yeah,
Tudor came. So वो difference दिखता है आपको कि एक familiar figure आता है. He knows how to take charge of things. Um, Milan fans are in hibernation mode, I guess. Seeing Pjanic, do you guys feel he could be a coach in the future? Uh, I mean,
Matic for sure. Matic can be.
That is
uh,
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, not
yeah,
Miralem.
Pjanic,
ठीक
no,
है,
yeah, guys. I feel like Pjanic,
yeah,
I mean, even if he's a coach, he's not really going to make it to, the big
yeah,
stage.
yeah.
he could be
You
like a
probably,
good sporting director at like a Olympic Lyon or something,
yeah, maybe.
League of.
like
I don't see him as a coach.
the stream and subscribe, guys. Be a part of the community like Ajay Menon Talk Sports. Two great football stories. See, Adrish is advertising for us, so please do that.
Thank you so much,
Um,
Adish bhai.
Want classic Italian defensive football and counter-attacking football, at least some version of vertical football. Seeing how good PSG is, can you make an argument this is the French best French team we have seen till now since 2010? Too much of a
Depends,
stretch.
depends,
Too much.
depends
Nahi,
in the Champions League.
in the Champions League, but then technically that one PS in the COVID era they made it to the final, right? So I mean, अगर आप सिर्फ result के हिसाब से देखोगे, I don't know, yeah. I don't know about best. I think it's too soon to say that. I think, yeah, it's a bit too soon to say that. Yeah, I feel Leon version that reached the deep stages of the UCL can also make that claim, na that way.
Yeah,
Obviously,
the
they didn't win the league run. Yeah,
Sydney Govu, Karim Benzema, Gregory Coupe,
exact. No, no, I mean like the recent wala
Coutinho.
where they knocked out Man City
अच्छा
and
वो
even
वाला
Lille.
अच्छा.
Yeah, even Lille winning the league recently. I mean, I know they didn't go deep in the UCL, but still, yeah, maybe even
Still
better than 20.
the best French team that uh, like थोड़ा deviate करो, but it's a Marseille team in the 90s, you know. I mean, but उसका
We do not
अलग ही
speak of
controversy,
Marseille. We do
अलग
not
ही
speak of
controversy था
Deserbi.
उसका, अलग ही controversy.
But
नहीं नहीं, वो
just
even 90s में controversy था, 90s में भी controversy था उसका,
yeah,
Marseille का.
they had fixed the league. They had even manipulated the
Yeah,
results in the Champions League. It's all out there. And also, by the
yeah.
way, just on a side note, just speaking about another Italian, Deserbi का Marseille में problems चालू हो गए. He started having fallouts with many players, not just one.
He said he's
So
not going to train the team, and the team also
yeah,
said that we're not going to train.
yeah, the
मतलब
whole conversation
yeah.
apparently has been leaked. So welcome to Deserbi's world. Milan took my brother from me. uh, Roma 1-1, UN nil 1-1 draw. I feel Chico needs to be playing wider and not as an inside forward, maybe swap at times. But to be fair, Rio, how many chances also he's had? Like that's what I kept saying about Chico. Like where is the end product right now? And I feel the price to tag is also heavy, to redeem him. Midfield will be the battle where it's won or lost. UA 3, Roma 1. Wow. Some only the Roma fan says Shomorodov late winner. Yeah, I think we can move. DJ, I think you are in a rush, right? So I think definitely if you want to take the floor and say something before you go.
Forza Juve.
So yeah,
No,
that's
but
DJ. Yeah,
but
DJ,
just
DJ, I remember watching very, very vividly watching on 10 Sports 2003, okay, Roma Juve, where Capello, Emerson, Zabina had moved to Juve. And I think it was the first time or second time they were coming back to the Olympico. That game ended nil-nil, okay, and it had 150 fouls. There was no gameplay. Every time the ball came to either a Roma player or UA player, there was a foul. Some 10
Mm.
yellow cards per team. It was such a game. And my brother and I were watching, and he was like, what the hell is Serie A? Like, is this Serie A? Like, they're just killing each other because there was so much of animosity between the whole Capello
I think the
leaving, taking
animosity of the
Zemina.
Capello switch, nah, where it
Ah,
was just overnight. Moji met him in the off
yeah, yeah,
season
yeah.
and they
Yeah.
spoke, and
By
Crazy,
the
and it
way,
crazy,
happened.
crazy.
But
this is confirmed.
historically, this is not a heated fixture. I mean, there's
Yeah.
respect. Both teams kind of respect each other, and I think just the fact that I think after a while, I would say interesting fixture. It is a bit of a sluggish fixture because these teams do feel each other out. They have both
Yeah,
traditionally been teams that play good counter-attacking football. I think,
yeah.
but for the first time in a long time, Juve are going in as underdogs. I would say Roma are clear favorites to win this one, and but I don't know. The sensation I get is I feel like if not a draw, I feel like Juve could pull this off. It's going to be very telling for the season for both teams. So hopefully, my fingers are crossed, and it also becomes like that stepping stone for the team to start kind of galvanizing now. In the final 8 races, and then finally we'll have a coach to kind of take this same project forward in the way that it was originally intended by Giuntoli and the management.
Fair enough. So I think that was guys it from DJ भाई अगर देखते अब यूए का उनके लिए कैसे prediction आता है. He's gone for a UA win. We'll see you soon, DJ भाई. We'll obviously wrap this stream up also very shortly. So see you soon.
Chalo,
Until
ciao,
then,
ciao.
ciao
See you
ciao.
guys soon.
See you guys in a stream. See you in a stream very soon. तब तक थोड़े
Bye.
comments ले लेते हैं अजय भाई. Let me just. Where did I even stop? I think ये भी हो गया था. ये भी हो गया था. ये भी ये तो ये तो पीएसजी वाला भी ले लिया था मिडफील्ड बैटल. Yeah, I think this is where I stopped. I found it. Yeah, sorry. Thuram and Paredes key battle. Roma 2-1 says Anand. I would like to see Conceição, then Colomwani from the bench, and Berlanzi or Pellegrini, like Ajay said. If it's a win, I feel it'll be Roma. Badzel says I'm late to stream, but I think Roma dominates them. Wow, interesting, Badzel. Juventus showed
Now,
nothing against Genoa.
love his
Yeah, and
profile picture also, The Undertaker.
yeah, I think he's new to the channel after the Uncle Sharma episode, if I'm not wrong. By the way, I'll pull it up. Do watch the episode with Uncle Sharma. Everyone has worked hard on this, the panel and everyone. और बहुत अच्छा episode है. We loved having him. मतलब the episode was great. I saw it
भाई
when it
तू ही
was
नहीं था,
first.
बाकी सब थे,
Yeah,
तू नहीं था.
I have bad luck when it comes to episodes I want to be at. मेरा नसीब खराब है यार, काम वाम आ जाता है. But yeah, I really, when I watched it also, I really wish, I was hoping I could be there. I was really missing everything. So hopefully not next time. I won't be missing all this. Love these three at the back, wing back, defensive chess, tactical battle, same as Ajay bhai. कौस्तुभ is joining in. आजा कौस्तुभ थोड़ी देर में रैप अप ही कर रहे हैं. आजा थोड़ी देर 9 गेम में बाकी गेम्स का प्रेडिक्शंस देख के बंद कर रहे हैं हम लोग. Bologna is flying. They can beat Napoli. Bologna can beat anyone at this point, I would say.
Yeah.
Beat Napoli, beat Inter, beat anyone. I feel they can beat anyone. Catenaccio for life. I know the game has changed, but some modern version of it. That's fair. Even if the game has changed, you can like what you want. Like even I love Catenaccio. Zaza will be a very nice striker coach. Uh, I'm starting to like Deservi because Greenwood finally knows what no and being locked up means. So this
Oh,
screenshot this and post this on Twitter, guys.
oh, एक मिनट रुक यार, रुक. ये
लील का
बनता है
बुरा
बहुत.
किल माज या बुरा किल माज
अरे
इज अ क्लासिक आई लव
वो
बुरा
ले
किल
ले,
माज
मैं फोटो ले रहा हूँ, फोटो ले रहा हूँ.
ले रहा हूँ ले लो
उफ.
nice one Kaustuv. नहीं Burak Yilmaz not just Lille, Burak Yilmaz at Galatasaray was insane, man. Like okay,
Yeah.
Lille, Burak Yilmaz Galatasaray में was a cult. I mean Burak Yilmaz is an amazing striker. He says Ciao to DJ bhai. Ever saw a situation like the one in Muller at Bayern? Uh,
हाँ
which
देखा है,
specific
देखा है,
which
कितना देखा.
specific one are you referring to though? Because ऐसे तो उसके भी situations बहुत हुए यार. Bazel also saying bye to DJ. But this has draw written all over it. All over it says Harsh. The interesting. Who do you think will score? Let me know. 113 kilometers per hour.
Yes.
Give,
Do you know the reference पर हम 113
am
kmph?
I missing? मेरे को एकदम से याद नहीं आ रहा.
2012-13 where Roma won against Juve. This was the shot
Wait,
that Francesco
हाँ.
Totti,
Yes,
uh,
I remember now. Yes.
yeah, his bazooka when
Hmm.
he hit the shot was measured at 113 kmph.
Yeah. I'm remembering.
I
Yeah.
mean, dead ball, dead, like literally dead ball, almost a
Yeah.
dead ball.
Dead ball,
With
correct.
just absolute power, man, absolute power. The
Yeah.
ball hit the net और वो वापस आया और बुफॉन ने पकड़ा, मतलब वो देखा बॉल गया और उसने पकड़ा आके वापस.
I
It was
remember
that
it now.
those things.
I remember it now vaguely. Yeah, I think I know what you're
Can you
talking about.
can you just guess who the coach was at the time for Roma?
अरे यार, I know, but I wait.
मैं तेरे को हिंट
Not
देता हूँ. He was an interim coach. Hint देता हूँ.
go ahead because I take time to remember things. You might have
It
to go ahead.
it was Aurelio Andreazzoli.
Interim था correct. Oh yeah, that period I remember. अभी मेरे को धीरे धीरे याद आ रहा है. Correct.
हाँ.
Damn, how times change, यार. Yeah,
Time
it's
change.
insane how football moves. Bajal says I watched Sharma episode as I came here on his recommendation. Then I watched all your other videos and subscribed. Love the passion and dedication from India to culture. Thanks, sir. We appreciate it, Bajal. Like we are also looking to go global. Look, I know we are trying to grow the calcio community here, but the point is we also want to grow our channel beyond this. We also want to do other calcio content, like as you saw the recent episode Ajay and Chintan made on Italiano. Like not many people will bring that. Like I know there are other creators as well, but we also want to do this, and bring different kind of content. So nice to have you here, and I hope you can spread the word as well. Like because we really want to do justice to Italian football and give it the respect it doesn't deserve. Where are you from, by the way? Let us know. Goat episode like a movie. Both Uncle Sharma and the Anubhuti the episode were goated. Yeah, both were amazing episodes. Yeah. Thomas, wait, what am I missing? Oh no. Yeah, Thomas Muller. But which situation are you talking about? Because as though I can pick anyone, right? Spalletti. What about? Oh, no, he was not the coach at the time.
Andreazzoli also coach. Yeah.
Yeah, Angelino and Yildiz get a goal each. Wow. By the way,
Interesting.
Angelino is playing very well currently. Matlab, he's been insane.
He is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the current contract. Fair enough. I'll come to that though. We'll discuss this. Bajal says he's from Ukraine. Wow, interesting here. Very interesting to
Lovely,
see.
lovely.
Nice to have you. Matlab,
From
I'm assuming you are in.
Artem
Huh?
Topics. Artem Topics country.
Dovbik, yeah, Dovbik. Oh, I'm assuming you have Dovbik scoring in your prediction. Bajal bro is an Uncle Sharma regular and channel member. Yeah, I've seen him. Chelik is back, but will he start? Hummels might just after today's retirement news, he would want to play last games of his career. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a valid point. Cristante back post tap in, we will be there no matter what. And the quality on your video and sound in a Sharma episode was really good for a starting channel. See, Bajal, so basically there are certain episodes we do in the studio whenever we can. We try to do as many. Obviously, it costs us. It does not come for free. So, but our editor we use is very good. The person who produces this video, those videos is top notch. Otherwise, we do live streams and we try our best. But yeah, Ajay, bhai, what we'll do is now what we are going to do is start predicting the other games of the match day, and I'll come to the rest of the comments. Kostub, if you might want to hop onto the episode very quickly, if you want to. I'll come to your comment, Harsh and Adrish. I'll come to your comments. Don't worry. Just give us some time, otherwise, chalte hi rahega stream. I hope this is visible. So we start tonight, Ajay bhai, with Genoa Udinese. I mean, to be fair, Ajay bhai, मतलब Udinese तो अच्छा कर ही रही है. Again, it's the same thing, and Genoa has also recovered quite well. And if you see
Yeah.
the form, it's not that bad for both. I mean, it's quite even to be fair. It's just that Genoa have one more draw and Udinese have one more win. क्या बोलते हो? मतलब I feel this will be like a very cagey draw and Udinese win. क्या बोलते हो?
I'll go for a draw in this one, Param, to be very honest.
Wow. Yeah, and I want people in the comments to basically give their predictions with the team names as well. Matlab, obviously, we want everyone to participate, but Ajay, bhai, draw is a fair prediction. I feel. Also, Alexis Sanchez is now injured for Udinese. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Omar Soler. क्या player, क्या defender है.
What a
I
player!
know he's
What a
been,
player!
yeah, he's been on Inter's radar. He scored a stunner. I don't know if he'll end up with signing him or whatnot, but he's been playing fantastic. By the way, he came on a free transfer, Ajay bhai, if you remember.
Yeah, because he had
He
some
was
issue
available.
with Salzburg.
Yeah, he had attitude issues as well and other issues with Salzburg, but he's trying to turn his fortunes around. Kudos to him. Genoa also भी अच्छा कर रही है, decent कर रही है. Malinowski is back. You have Friendrup and all still playing well. Coney De Winter is playing better than ever. Yeah, I can see this as a draw. I'll go for a nil-nil. What scoreline prediction are you going for?
Maybe like a 1-all here in this.
Fair enough, but yeah, I'll go for a nil-nil. Monza versus Como, actually a rivalry, Ajay bhai. If you remember, we
Yeah,
had done a
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
stream on this.
याद है
One
इसमें
of
अपन
our initial streams of the season. Como still obviously trying, not obviously मतलब थोड़ा बीच में struggles रहे, not easy games, but Monza just terrible अजय भाई, मतलब horrible team. I don't know, मुझे लग रहा है Como जीत जाएगी, क्या बोलते हो?
even I feel Como will win.
Yeah,
मेरे
I
को भी
think
लग रहा है
Como
Como
will,
जीतेगा.
yeah, Como get back on track here. Let me see what the comment section is saying. Um, we
Como
have,
win. Everyone is going Como win.
Harsh says Udinese have nothing to play for. To be fair, they have more to play for than Genoa. I'll be very honest with you. Adrish says 1-1. Genoa 0-1. Udinese says Badzel. Genoa versus Udine draw says Samunli. Genoa 1-1. Udinese. Harsh says 0-0. Como win. Inter win. Fiorentina win says Samunli. Red Bull Academy doesn't miss says Adrish. 2-1 Udinese says Rahul. Monza nil. Como 4. Monza nil. Como 3 says Badzel. Rahul says 3-0 Como. Monza are horrendous. Says I agree with Harsh. Like Monza are terrible. And I think they're preparing for a life after the Galliani era. They're looking
Yeah. आराम
ये
से मतलब
Serie,
उन लोग they are preparing for a life even आगे. मतलब
yeah,
Serie C, Serie D.
they've been terrible. मतलब Parma Inter next obviously a game on Saturday for us because we play Bayern Munich midweek और Bayern का game तो अभी आधे घंटे में है actually which I'll be watching obviously. Ajay bhai, very again I want comments to give the predictions. Let me just quickly take you guys through the form. Obviously Parma मतलब
ये
बहुत अभी 4 गेम.
ये स्क्रीन पे शेयर करना ये वाला. तेरा नहीं आ रहा स्क्रीन पे. एक मिनट.
What? It's not sharing. Very strange. Wait, hold
नहीं,
on.
it's not sharing. Not sharing.
Okay, just give me 1 sec. Share screen. Very strange. It didn't present over there. Now it showed, I guess. Is it showing now?
अभी आ रहा है.
Yeah, great. So obviously injury list है दोनों teams की. देखो, we all know Parma has had tons of injuries over the season, ACLs, whatnot. That's not going anywhere. They're ravaged by injuries. Their form has been terrible. Ajay, मतलब this is not what we expected from Parma. They're winless in 4. Obviously.
Christian Kivu, man, ex
Yeah.
Inter, of course, ex Roma.
Yeah. Christian की वो आया पहले गेम में जीता भी, if I'm not wrong, he beat Bologna in his first game.
Yeah.
And he's a decent coach. He has a long way to go. वो Primavera coach के Inter का last, so Obviously, there is now that X factor ki will he haunt Inter or not. It is still a decent team. You have Bernabe, you have Mandela Keita, some decent players in there. But I do feel this team lacks a lot of leadership. On the other hand, Inter के injuries list भी कम नहीं हो रही है. मतलब Dumfries is out for a while. Initial news था जब he'll be out for 3-4 weeks. Now he's out for 7 to 8 weeks. He's going to miss both the games against Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Big blow because he was our best player of 2025 and he's out. Barella is suspended. Zielinski तो injured है ही. Taremi is also injured. Lautaro is back, so that's one positive news. Whether or not he starts remains to be seen. But क्या क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई? क्या prediction बोलते हो आप?
Inter win this, man. I mean, there's no other prediction in this. Aram se easy Inter win.
I mean, I hope we win. I know relegation teams को खेलना मुश्किल होता है, but I feel I'll go for a 2-1 Inter win. I feel थोड़ा KG होगा with a relegation team, but I feel we'll win. थोड़ा struggle होगा. Sad to see my boy D'Ambrosio go down to Serie B, says Harsh Vasur. By the way, which club do you support, Harsh? Let me know. Kivu will come to haunt us. My gut feeling says Adrish. Rahul Singh says 3-1 Inter. Bajal says 2-1 Inter. Harsh says Inter wins 3-1. Lautaro plays under Dimarco banger. Join the community, says Adrish. Forza Inter. Bajal says Inter will relax against smaller team after scoring a couple and concede once. Krishanu asked, would you take KDB in any sort of top Serie team? Ajay, very quickly, yes or no?
Yes.
Fair enough. Adrish says, join the Inter community. I'm already in the community. Adrish says 2-2 draw. Wow. Kostub says 5-0 Inter. Baap re bhai. Yeah, but no, I feel Kostov also kind of, I think he's coming from a place where Parma have just been too bad. But let's move on. Milan, Fiorentina, मतलब जो भी है, Milan is finding a way to hold Inter despite doing everything else badly. but all jokes aside, यार guys, क्या लगता है जब इधर, क्योंकि you have a Fiorentina team that has bounced back after their struggles. But you have a Milan team that is just कुछ breakthrough नहीं आ रहा है, मतलब कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. Just nothing is happening. क्या बोलते हो इधर?
Very difficult to predict, Param, and that's why I'll go for the safe option and go for a draw in this one, because you don't know which Milan is going to show up. जो Milan Inter games show up किया था were very good. Like, they really showed that they can take up the game to Inter. But otherwise in the league, bhai, I don't know what is happening with Milan. And with Fiorentina also, like you mentioned, they had some struggles, but it looks like they bounced back. Moise Kean scoring a fantastic solo goal against Atlanta. And overall, the midfield is now clicking with Fagioli also coming in. So, again, very, very difficult. I think if Fiorentina were at home, they would have probably beaten Milan. But since Milan are here and Kostup ने सही point दिया, Yasin Adli यार, Adli versus his current employees, because he's still on loan. You never know. I mean, it could swing either way. Like if I had to pick a winner, I would probably go for Fiorentina. But I'm just going for a draw in this game.
Fair enough. Yeah, मुझे भी ये draw लग रहा है, kind of high scoring draw game लग रहा है मुझे, like a 2-2 vibe आ रही है मुझे.
2-2 तो हो सकता है,
yeah, exactly, because Fiorentina ने form right time पे पकड़ा है. Milan के से चलो हमने Inter को hold किया, but the thing with Milan is बहुत inconsistent रही है ये season. They've been very inconsistent. They just had Inter's number so far more than anything. And I don't know, man. Like, I feel this is like a high scoring draw more than anything. Again, I want people to comment here, guys. Don't stop. Come on, I want people to give the predictions. Harsh is on our group. I keep forgetting here. Matlab, kabhi I just lose track of names. He says Forza Inter sempre. Tanbir says easy win for Inter. Rahul Singh says 4-1 Fiorentina. Humiliation incoming. He's a Milanista. Bajal says Fiorentina 2-1. Kostov says Yasin Adli brace. Bajal says, are there Fiorentina fans in India? Bajal, there was a while, if I don't know if Ajay bhai will remember, there was a while back where, this is pre-pandemic, I mean, where I know there was a group of people who wanted to start a Fiorentina fan club, but we never heard from them. So I don't know
they
if
were,
they were like...
They were also Pune City fans. So, you know what happened to Pune City.
Yeah, now I understand. Also, by the way, there are, like, I've seen a couple of Fiorentina admirers in the chat. Kostub, by the way, jo hai, you can see Kostub in the chat. Goated journalist. He has a soft spot for Fiorentina, but apart from him, he's a well-known Fiorentina admirer. But apart from him, I've seen a couple in our chat, like Atletico Madrid into Fiorentina fan. I've seen one, so good to see the dynamics. I did see Ajay bhai, although I remember that there was this guy who said he was from Hyderabad and he liked Fiorentina. I think he even said it was his favorite club. So I hope to see that person again in the chat. Um, स्वर्णिम भाई रोमा हो यूए हो गया स्वर्णिम भाई हो गया but you can give your prediction here. You can also give a preview in the comment. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, Swarnim
Yeah,
bhai.
yeah, yeah.
Late to the party says Adresh. Harsh says both Fiorentina and Milan are strong. Predicted. I'll go for a 3-2 Milan win. Fair enough. Kostov says scenes if Abraham misses a penalty. Fiorentina 3-2 says Adresh. Draw would be the best result says Swarnim. Yeah, I can see a draw here for some reason. I don't know. I just feel Lecce Venezia यार ये मस्त गेम होने वाला because Venezia Ajay has been making life hard for everyone. Like barring Bologna, obviously Italiano beat them, but look at those results. Draw, 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 draw. Lecce have been on a terrible run. Lecce, like, let's be real, like I expect better them to do better. But oh Gianpaolo effect finally unfortunately दिख रहा है. You know, he is what he is.
Of
He's not a
course.
great. क्या बोलते हो इधर क्या होगा?
Chal, let me go out on a limb and predict a Lecce win in this.
Di Francesco come back, but I feel Venezia will win.
नहीं,
I
डी
don't know why.
फ्रांचेस्को का नहीं होगा.
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ मतलब डी फ्रांचेस्को कम बैक बीइंग डी फ्रांचेस्को रिटर्निंग टू हिज ओल्ड सेल्फ वही बोलना चाहता हूँ मैं बट नहीं नहीं आई फील वेनेजिया विल विन हियर आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई हैव अ फीलिंग दे विल मेक लाइफ हार्ड एंड विन समहाउ अगेन आई नीड टू सी इट इन द कमेंट्स एज वेल Bajal says, I mean, if there's a female Lazio fan, surely there must be a couple of Fio fans considering while I was super in the 90s. Look, Bajal, Serie was quite big in the 90s, like Ajay Bhai and all are fans from the 90s. But look again, there are over a billion people in this country, so we don't know what kind of fans are there. You know, every day you find Ajay Bhai, every day you find something new, you learn something new. I'm telling you, I have come across an Indian Cagliari fan on a WhatsApp group, and I just can't seem to find the guy again. But there was an Indian Cagliari fan on a WhatsApp group I was in. So that is also there. Uh, I would say, yeah. Sorry, Swarnim Bhai says draw would be the best result. UN 0-0 Roma. Lecce 1-0 Venezia. Bajal says 2-2 Venezia Lecce. Uh, Ajay Bhai, क्या बोलते हैं? Empoli Cagliari again another relegation scrap. Relegation scraps are kind of interesting. Ajay Bhai, क्या बोलते हैं? Because ये भी देखो, Empoli have fallen hard. Like they've fallen hard.
Hard,
Like from
hard,
being
hard.
in the top 10 to 18th. It's bad. वो क्या बोलते हो क्या होगा? I personally I feel Cagliari will win. क्या बोलते हो?
Chalo, just to counter you, I feel that Empoli will end their miserable run and then maybe pull out a rabbit of the hat and win 2-1 in this.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Again, I want to see it in the comments, guys. Come on. Um, I will move on from that. Torino, Hellas. Look, by default, I'm going for a Torino win. You don't need to ask me my
Forza,
reasons.
Forza Toro.
Forza Toro. Yeah, you and Ajay Bhai. And Torino have actually been in good form, Ajay Bhai. If you really look,
Yeah,
even
of
Drew
course, of course.
Lazio beat, they've actually been in good form. Hellas Verona have launched their Scudetto tribute kit, which is a good kit to be fair. Must jersey hai. As much as I do not like Hellas Verona. Again, I want to see these predictions in the comments here. Come on, guys. Shivam says 4 p.m. peak Serie A, Lecce 1 to Venezia. He says there are also Como fans apparently in India. Swarnim. हाँ मतलब I've seen Como admirers but not like proper fans. If there are,
स्वर्णिम
let
भाई
us.
अगर कोई है हार्डकोर फैंस है तो अपना व्हाट्सएप मल्टीपर्स में उनको इनवाइट करो भाई.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, Harsh Cagliari fan. I'm telling you, I have seen it. Just that I can't seem to find the person again. Cagliari fan in India is wild. I mean, it's one of the most unexpected things. Empoli 1, Cagliari 2 says Andres. Torino 3-2. Empoli wins only one against one club says Swarnim. Need Mandela Keita to score against Verona someday. If you know, you know. I know. Torino 3-0 Hellas. Forza Inter says Tanvir. And Kostov is dropping bombs today. We have another big
Yeah.
game, Ajay bhai. We have
Oh,
another big game, obviously. Atalanta versus Lazio. Again, we have absentees and whatnot in both Skamakas, Calvini, Guendouzi. But क्या बोलते हो? Because obviously Atalanta also have not done well in the last two, but Lazio have had a major dip. मतलब भाई, I watched that game against Bologna where they got spanked. I watched it
I love that game.
and
I just
हाँ
just rewatched it while before doing the Italiano video. मजा आया. बहुत 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 अच्छा लगा. मतलब
क्या बोलते हो?
after a very stressful day, you want to unwind. Open a bottle of wine
Yeah.
and
क्या
have
बोलते हो
you
क्या
can just
होगा?
switch on. Atlanta win this. 2-1.
Fair enough. I know. Even I feel Atalanta will bounce back here. I feel they'll win. I feel I don't know why I don't. मेरे को लग रहा है लाजियो का trajectory नीचे जाते रहेगा and they felt very vulnerable in recent games. I feel now we are seeing that they're struggling to balance two competitions. I just want to address something very quickly. I don't think Baroni should be sacked, but knowing Lotito, he will probably sack Baroni. I feel Baroni
हाँ
ने
हाँ.
overachieve किया with the score. Look, at the end of the day, I read this from a Lazio fan. A 38-year-old Pedro, while he's been extraordinary, right? मतलब मस्त खेल रहा है. That cannot be your solution to be playing into competitions week in week out while performing extraordinarily in the Europa League, doing well in the league, and then eventually falling off. Like things like these have to be addressed. How many times Ajay have we spoken of Lazio's backline? Not the best, not that great.
Yeah.
You can't be starting Patrick and all these guys. These are not a top half team ka player. Let's be honest. So I feel it'll be very harsh if he gets sacked. Even as a rival, I guess you would agree, right, Ajay? Like I think that would be very undeserved. It'll be like a very stupid decision. What do you say?
Probably, but that's Lotito for you, यार. I mean, I
Yeah, of
think
course.
वो जो इनका rinse repeat cycle होता है ना कि after before every season Lazio fans come and protest against Lotito, season
Yeah.
शुरू होता है, उन लोग भूल जाते हैं, फिर ऐसे हरकत होता है, फिर next season के start में वापस rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say.
Trying to invite his father was from Como, mother from Shimla. Definitely tell him to join. We'll accept the request. Yeah, that's interesting to see. Um, sorry, Forza Inter says Adrish again. Lazio wins 4-1. I can feel it. Wow, interesting. Very very bold prediction. Swarnim Bhai says Atalanta win 3-0. Shivam says Atalanta 3-2 Lazio. Asta says hello guys. What happened between Felix and Walker? हाँ आई मीन मैं वो इंसिडेंट इफ आई विल ट्राई टू जस्ट पुल अप द ट्वीट ओनली डायरेक्टली इफ यू गाइस सॉ इट हर्ष बसूर says 2-2 for Atalanta Lazio. Atalanta 2 Lazio 1 says Adresh. Atalanta is falling off it seems. So is Lazio to be fair. Noslin and Chauna
Yeah.
have done nothing. Uncle Pedro is the reason why they're still in the top 8 and in Europa. See,
Hmm.
Costo has brought up another great point. Some of the signings have not worked out as well. No decision is a stupid decision for Lotito, says Swarnim. Noslin post hat trick has disappeared. Yeah, Noslin and all these guys, their inexperience has clearly showed us. मतलब वो जो अनुभूति का fear था ना कि their Hellas Verona signings and all, Noslin and all,
Of course.
that has kind of come
मैं
through.
मैं कुछ नहीं बोलना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि ये वीक के बाद में डार्बी डेला कैपिटाले है
हार
तो
भी है.
you never know. So
Yeah, guys, I
yeah,
want you
stranger.
guys to. I want you guys to predict Roma you in the comments because me and Ajay have already predicted. I've gone for a.
Yeah.
What did I even go for? I think I went for a draw. I can't remember. Ajay has gone for a Roma win
You
or a
didn't
draw.
go for anything actually. तूने बोला ही नहीं.
Yeah, I didn't even pick. Fuck. I just remembered. I think I'll go for a draw here. क्या बोलते हो आप? आपका क्या है prediction final?
मेरा तो वही 0-0 या 1-1.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me just see the comments. Kyle, not Messi. Walker, how has Guendouzi been doing? He's been decent, I would say, Swarnim bhai, but obviously there are certain
Wait.
elements.
Swarnim bhai, he has been. Guendouzi has been.
You get Ajay bhai's references over there. Robbie is here in the chat finally. बाहर आ गया Robbie. क्या हालचाल फ्रतेली मियो? आप बताओ भाई, आप लोग बताओ. Shivam says Ajay bhai this time staying humble. Yeah. Roma 2-1 Juventus. I'll change my prediction. Yeah, but Guendouzi has been okay. I mean, decent, I would say. Matlab, he's a temperamental player. A lot of days he's good. Some of the days he's really bad. But I think, yeah, we can move on. We have that last game. Again, a big game, to be fair,
Oh,
Ajay bhai. Bologna
what a
versus
game! What a
Napoli.
game!
Again, we need to look at this two. Bologna has been fantastic. Look at the winning. Look at this. Win against Cagliari, win against Hellas, win against Lazio, Venezia, Empoli. On the other hand, also Napoli थोड़ा slow down हो गई थी, but beat Milan and Fiorentina. क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई? क्या predictions आपके?
Bologna 3, Napoli 1.
Wow. Wow. Again, I want the chat to definitely predict this game. अगर आप लोग ये game predict नहीं कर रहे हो, I don't know what is wrong with you. You have to predict this game. The odds are favoring Napoli, but I don't know. I have a feeling Italiano का form continue होगा. I don't know what it is. I know Napoli are also doing a decent job, but I feel Bologna win like 1-0. What do you guys
Yeah.
think in the comments? Guendouzi is decent at best. He's not a ceiling raiser for a team like Lazio. I agree, sure. Napoli need to win this, says Swarnim. Mark, Adrish and Robbie having their banter. Shivam says Bologna 1-0, 1-0. Adrish says 2-0 to Bologna. But I think, Ajay, those were our predictions. Let me just see if anybody else. Guys, we'll wrap it up very quickly because Steve को भी लंबा हो रहा है थोड़ा.
परम मैंने तेरे को एक इमेज भेजा है वेब व्हाट्सएप
हाँ,
पे, वो ओपन होता है
wait,
तो
let
देखना
me
यार.
let me just check. Until then, you keep
मैं
taking comments, Ajay.
मैं कमेंट्स देते रहूंगा तब तक, because you have Badsel who's given a very good question. Ajay
Hmm.
bhai, do you see Dobbik like a long-term Roma player? I think he can be your main attacking force for years to come if players around him feed many crosses. So, Badsal, I've actually made a video along with Shivam. Shivam follows La Liga very closely, and he followed Dobbik's season at Girona the season before this. So, we've actually compared. We used some stats and, of course, the visual aid also, because we watch a lot of games. So I personally feel that Dobbik hasn't got the service this year because of the turbulence in the back room. You had three managers come and go, right? You had De Rossi, Ivan Juric, and now Ranieri. So a lot of new systems, new, I would say, it takes time for players to settle in. And Dobbik, for him, this is his first season in Italy, new country, new league. So it has taken a while for him to settle in, but he still holds those numbers. My only gripe, my only issue with Dobbik is that he's not scored against the bigger clubs, the top six clubs. He's been excellent against low block teams. Shivam has gone into a lot of detail into that. Like, in Italy, you have, with all due respect, the likes of Venezia, Empoli, who have such a uh, tight low block, it becomes very difficult to break their defenses. Dobbik has done very well over there. But when it comes to big games, he's not scored
Hmm.
those big goals as of now. But 8 games, you have like six big games in that. You have both the Milan teams, Juve, Lazio, Atlanta, Fiorentina. So, this is a chance to have a good end of the season, in my opinion, and probably stay on for a couple of more years, because the next coach who comes in should definitely make him the main focal point of the attack with wide players surrounding him. So,
Hmm.
just to sum up everything, I like Dobbik. I feel that he is a long-term solution, at least a couple of years, because now football cycles are short. But let's hope that he can, get those goals, 30 odd goals across all competitions coming ahead.
Fair enough, fair enough. ये अजय में आपने क्या शेयर करवाया है मतलब दी
Yes,
आरवी.
yes, yes. Param, this is for you. If
हाँ,
you can just zoom in thoda sa. Okay,
this is tough.
right. So,
हाँ,
Param, Wikipedia, guess the player. How much time do you want on this, by the way? 1 minute, Daluki? Should I put a stopwatch of 1 or 2 minutes? I give you a
why do
chance.
we
And
why do we have a stopwatch for this? Because this is already tough. Uh,
okay, so I'll just start it. Okay, and you can ask me hints. I can give you hints wherever you
we
you
should
get it
also
wrong.
involve the community in this. मतलब if anybody knows,
Ah,
why not?
yeah. Community as well. Community as well. Chalo, theek hai.
हाँ,
Let's go. I've started the stopwatch. Let's go.
फ्रोजिनो ने उडिनेजे विचेंजा जेनोआ पार्मा उडिनेजे अगेन.
So I'll give you the first hint, Param. The blanks I've done is the
हाँ,
you know उसमें थोड़े teams है that he's the most famous for. Like anyone who's watched Serie A would know him from that team.
हाँ. No, no, can you repeat, sorry.
The
What was
blanks,
that?
the four blanks you see, right? Four
हाँ,
blanks where I've
हाँ,
dashed. Those are four teams that this
हाँ.
player is most well known for.
ये टफ है यार. इज एक मिनट, मेरे को ना एक कॉम्बिनेशन इसमें से याद आता है ऊपर ऊपर से मोटा. अगर आप एम्पोली डाल रहे हो, फ्रोजिनो ने डाल रहे हो, उडी ने डाल रहे हो, जेनोआ डाल रहे हो, राइट.
तेरे को
क्रिस्टीना.
क्या लगता है what is he? Is he a forward? Is he a midfielder or a defender? क्या लगता है?
यार मुझे तो वाइब आ रही है मिडफील्डर की है देख के.
So you're right. It's a midfielder.
या हु एम आई मिसिंग हियर. जेनोआ, फ्रोजिनो ने, उडिनेजे, क्रिस्टीना. fuck.
Shall
15.
I give this hint to you? Shall I give
Yeah,
this hint to you?
yeah.
It's if I give this hint, it's a it's almost a giveaway if I give this hint. But ठीक है, we
बोलो
are at
बोलो.
almost 2 minutes. Catania.
Catania. What am I
Yeah.
missing? My brain is fried here. What the? What am I missing here? Catania,
Okay,
yes, sure.
he is known for his golazzos. Scored a lot of golazzos.
Fuck. My brain is so cooked right now.
Okay,
आपको
another
बोलना
hint.
पड़ेगा.
He's a left footer.
Left footer scores golazos.
Left footer midfielder scores golazzos 2017-20 at Catania. चार hint दिया तुझे.
Hmm. 2017 to 2020 Catania.
And Swarnim Bhai has guessed it. It
Sorry, what
is
is he?
Francesco Lodi.
Oh, Lodi. Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Catania. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Catania. Fuck. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. It is
Or,
Francesco Lodi.
yeah, yeah. Correct. नहीं, Catania. Oh, 17
By the
20
way,
था ना?
all the four blanks are Catania. So he's played for Catania 4 times.
Yeah. Correct, 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 correct. Oh, fuck. For those who don't know, Ajay, bhai, you should be pulling up a picture for our audience as to who he is and what
Should
he's
I?
played
Should I?
with.
Because he is a very
Do that.
good-looking footballer.
Do that. Do that. I hate that guy. I don't know why. Russo, Miccoli. Miccoli मेरे दिमाग में भी आया था, but he was not fitting. There's no Palermo there. So
Palermo.
exactly. Uh, भाई
What
रॉबी
a
6.
cult player.
इसको मेरे को 6 और डार्बी के बैक टू बैक के वीडियोस डीएम करने पड़ेंगे मेरे को लगता है. Also one more thing, bias nahi, I mean we have to admit Bologna is very good, by the way. They can beat anyone, literally. They can even beat us if needed. uh, Swarnim Bhai got it right again. Yeah, we'll definitely do another one on some other stream though. Um but yeah, Ajay, if you can pull up a picture until then, I'll take some comments.
मेरा मेरा Google लोड ही नहीं हो रहा है. पता नहीं क्यों.
Fair, I'll pull it up. See, but still, there are many reasons. It's not just about the popularity anymore. There's just too much politics involved. Like at every stage, from the top to the players to the coaches, it's a rotten vicious circle, and we discuss it every
Yeah.
time in our community. Ajay Bhai used to work in Indian football, so yeah, it's a
This is
disgrace. I always personally feel, I think we kind of should have been banned, like when we there was a chance. I think we would have got a reality check, but yeah, whatever. Uh,
Mikoli played Juve, Palermo,
Palermo,
Benfica,
exactly. Benfica.
Benfica as well. हाँ
Winning
पेटीएम कर दो
7.
भाई.
ATM. But let me just pull up a picture of the player, of course, Francesco
Mattia
Lodi.
Destro Mattia Destro also played for Roma, so
Yeah,
and he scored scored a few more goals because he's been a forward wherever he's played at. Milan में भी खेल चुका है. तो yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I remember him, of course, Francesco Lodi. So yeah,
but Francesco Lodi was a typical nice number 6, number 8 for Catania. Left-footed, can be a creative force. Scored some amazing goals for them. ये तो
yeah,
मेसीना का जर्सी है उसका.
yeah. I think guys we'll wrap up this stream बहुत time से थोड़ा late चालू हो गया. Apologies for that. We had of course other work as well, but definitely content आता रहेगा. First of all, do like, share and subscribe. We are very close to 1.5k. Chintan bhai had even made an appearance on Rivalry Room this, I think yesterday.
Twice.
Twice. Wow.
Twice.
एंड उसको ऑफ कोर्स यार कंटेंट आता रहेगा, कोलैब्स आते रहेंगे. आप देख रहे हो इटालियनों पे भी वीडियो, ऐसे अलग अलग वीडियोस आते रहेंगे. अजय भाई, डू यू वांट टू से एनीथिंग बिफोर वी क्लोज दिस स्ट्रीम?
No, yeah, I think it's been very overwhelming last 8 games now for Calcio. Of course, we have the European competitions also remaining, but let's end the season on a high. Spread the word of Calcio Charcha. In fact, what I would say ना, मतलब मैं तो directly बोलने ही वाला हूँ. Param, can you just pull up YouTube? I don't know why my browser has stopped working. Other tabs have stopped working. मतलब मैं
हाँ,
एक ही रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा. 18 लोग हैं स्ट्रीम में. तो
Yeah.
कहाँ गया?
What
एक
you
मिनट,
want?
मिल गया, मिल गया। मुझे सिर्फ ये लिंक शेयर करना है। एक मिनट, 16 लोग हैं, रुकना, जस्ट bear with me for 1 minute.
Yeah, sure,
Okay,
sure, sure.
here it is. It will be shared now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is the rivalry room, guys. Rivalry room है ये, जहाँ पे चिंतन गया था to represent कैल्चो चर्चा as a fan. बट ये वीडियो में जाना, आप सर्च करना और जाके कमेंट में लिखना कि इनवाइट कैल्चो चर्चा, बस इतना ही जाके बोलना।
Yeah,
Just flood the
definitely
comment.
do that.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, Chintan bhai in the audience. We should be on the panel, but whatever. That all jokes aside, definitely if you like,
तो
if you
जाओ
want to
और
see
और
us,
और लिखो
if you guys
लिखो
want to
जाके।
see us on different, if you guys want to see us on different shows or whatever collabs, ये सब तो आता रहेगा. Keep pushing for us. That's all I can say. मतलब वही
Yeah,
कर
just
सकते
just
हैं
go and
as and
flood
when
their
we.
comments. Just go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
rivalry room, game on,
Hmm.
flood the comments. Get calcio churcha, get calcio
And
churcha.
Kostub is going to be making a special appearance somewhere. You will know this
Yes,
week by the. So उसके लिए भी
yes.
keep an eye out for him. Other than that, all I can say from my end, obviously, let me just take a few comments. I remember Lodi from Katani only back in early 2010s. मतलब मेरे को नींद वैसे नहीं, I'm just tired because I had too much work. So definitely I'm a bit exhausted. I still have some work. That too not clearly Calcio Church represent Chintan by in first 20 minutes is me every time in public. Yeah, I saw the what you mean. But yeah, Destro winnings का money ये तो ले लिया मैंने. But yeah, guys, basically again, all we can ask for is support. Like करो, share करो, subscribe करो. और again content आता रहेगा. I mean बीच बीच में slow down होता है, understand. But again, all of us have something or the other to do. So definitely, but you can see, Ajay bhai and the rest of the panel dropped a lot of videos on Italiano Motta and all this. Collabs will be coming in, don't worry. So definitely एक तो है ही. Thank you bye says Forza Inter says Bazel. I want you guys to comment on a live Serie match instead of the clowns we have. Comment it, yeah. Like I mean I wish ऐसी कोई opportunity आ जाए, मतलब वो I would love it, like मजा आएगा.
स्वर्णिम
But yeah,
भाई,
yeah,
मतलब
Swarnim.
ये ये ऐसे फैन रूम या राइवलरी रूम में भी अपने को मिल जाएगा। हम वहां से हम लोग शुरुआत कर सकते हैं यार।
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, guys, again, like, share and subscribe. We'll take your leave. थोड़ा ये हो गया, मतलब we'll definitely do something more. मतलब और videos ये वो planning में है, works में है. First of all, go to Ajay Bhai's channel at AM Talk Sports. Subscribe करो, like करो, share करो. Again, so, like, share and subscribe here. Spread the word here. Calcio Church. Again, we need more people to know. Um, I saw that. Vasil.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe, and yeah, definitely karo, and definitely we will see you guys. We're also planning to actually write, so Kaustubh to chat में भाई तो Medium का या Substack we had discussed था, Substack का page बना, because we're planning to have a section of articles written by
Yeah,
Kaustubh and Mithul because they write a
and
lot,
Mithul,
and
and Mithul. They write a
yeah,
lot, yeah.
so इनको push करो, मतलब Kaustubh and Mithul, I know they'll start at some point, but push them because I feel reading material will be also very good for us,
Yes,
in general for the
they
audience.
are the genuine writers. Like Kaustubh is a journalist, of
Exactly, and
course, and then Mithul loves
Kaustubh
writing.
is
So
even. Exactly, Kaustubh is
push
a
them.
journalist. Yeah, exactly. So push them, guys. Come on, Kaustubh बना ले यार, आजकल में Substack का page बना ले तू. Then we can take it ahead from there. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining in as always. Like करो, share करो, subscribe करो. We will have more content planned. हम लोग अभी थोड़ा और better organized होने का try कर रहे हैं. Flow बना रहे monthly कि ये करेंगे वो करेंगे. So we'll try to achieve as much content as we can, and all we hope is you guys keep supporting us and spread the word. We'll
Yeah,
see you guys. बोलो ना.
yeah. Good night. Shabba khair. Shubhratri.
Yeah, obviously from your
Ciao,
video.
ciao. Ciao, ciao. Arrivederci.
See you guys
Bye.
soon, guys. Ciao, ciao. See you soon.